Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla, and in today's video I will be talking about the books that I read from January to March, so the first quarter of the year. I said in my previous video that I will be making just a review of all the books that I read because I had a really good beginning of the year and I wanted to share with you guys my thoughts and feelings. So with any of the books that I mention in this video, I will not be telling you the summary of it. I will not be telling you, I will not be explaining, or I will try to. Maybe I'll give you a little bit of a plot, but I'm not very good at explaining things, so I take whatever I say with a grain of salt and do your own research about the synopsis of the books, because I would not be doing a very good job. I'll just be telling you whether I liked it or not. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm just pulling up Goodreads right now because I can't really remember what I rated all of these books. Okay, so the first book that I read in January is My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine. It is the second book to My Roommate is a Vampire, and I liked the first one better than the second one. This one I gave 3 stars. Essentially, it's fake dating. I liked their banter. Gosh, this is why I shouldn't have done this so far apart, because I don't remember anything. Yeah, I mean, the guy was insufferable in the first book of the series, but this one, I guess I liked him a lot more. It gave him some more depth, and he is not as sarcastic and annoying. I don't know, I don't remember much that happened here, which is why I gave it 3 stars. Next up, I read Grimstone by Sophie Lark. I bought this at Barnes & Noble, like with my gift card from Christmas, and I read it right away because I was so excited, and I gave this one 5 stars. I loved it. It's so smutty, it's creepy, eerie. I loved the main male character, but I do not like the pictures. You know how Sophie Lark just has like caricatures in her books? I didn't like that very much. I liked their banter. I liked how independent the main female character is. I liked that it's just their own little world and it's a small town, and just the romance behind it. I definitely do not relate to the female character, but it doesn't take away the plot twist at the end and how good that was. So really enjoyed that. Next up, I finally picked up Spark of the Everflame by Pencol. So this started my little spiral into fantasy. So I gave this one 5 stars. It was so freaking good. I have been putting it off because there was a lot of hype around it, and I just didn't think it was gonna live up to the hype. So I put it off until January of this year, and I don't know why I did. But at the same time, I wish that I put it off because I binged the whole series. So I read Spark of the Everflame, I read Heat of the Everflame, and I read Glow of the Everflame. And I know this is like a different size from the rest of it. So like the first one is indie, the second one is indie? No, sorry, Glow is the second one. Let me do this. So, Spark, Glow, and Heat. The first and the third one are in the indie published version. The second one is traditional published, whatever, like it was picked up by Headline. And it just does not look very good. So yeah, I wish I picked it up sooner so that I have matching copies and so that I would be like at the top of the hype, like I would remember everything. But I wish that I pushed it off longer because now the last book in the series would not be published until later on. So I wish I held off so that I remember everything that has happened, because now I don't remember anything that happened in Heat. Well, I remember the gist of it. I just wish that, you know, when you're in the heat of, when you're just submersed in the whole world and you're just kind of like go, 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 you remember everything, you have, the feelings are all fresh and it just feels so real to you. Yeah, I should have saved that for when the last book comes out, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I read it because now it's one of my favorite books of all time. So let me tell you, the first two I gave 5 stars, and then the last one I gave 4 stars because so much just happened in the last one. Just so much. It was pissing me off. I don't know where she was going with it, but I hope that the last book ties everything off. Yeah? Yeah. Next, I don't have the physical book, I just borrowed it from the library. And we're still in January. I read so many books in January. So I read The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. I gave it 3 stars. It was a fun, silly, goofy time. I tried reading The Blonde Identity by Ali Carter and I just could not get through it because it was too silly for me. But this one kind of had more of a plot, and yes, it was silly, but at the same time, it was like really cute. It was kind of a murder mystery during Christmas in the UK, and they were all just stuck in this mansion by this author, and it felt like a solid plot. I feel like it was a plot that we're used to seeing, whether it's in movies or like some other books. So it didn't feel as silly to me. And the romance was super cute. It was a little bit whiplashy, but towards the end it was really cute. So I gave that 3 stars. Next up, I read Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I gave it 4 stars. Honestly, it could have been 5 stars, but there were just some elements that were too much. I liked the ending. I wish there was more to the ending. I wish there was more to the couple, but the games aspect and being in this mansion with all the devils is pretty good. Yeah, it was more romantic-y. It was more romance than it is fantasy leading, I guess, in my opinion. I don't know. Then I read A Love Most Fatal by Kath Richards. I gave it 3 stars. It was really, really good. I don't know why I gave it 3 stars. Maybe that's how I felt at the time. I'm thinking of, oh, okay. It was like the plot itself was a little annoying because of the main male character. It's kind of like the male character is more on the feminine side and the female character is the mafia boss. So it's kind of like reversed roles. So the guy was like throwing up because he saw something gruesome, and the girl was like being a badass and like beating people up, and it's like, yeah, go girl, but at the same time it's like I'm not used to that dynamic, so maybe that's why I gave it 3 stars. And their romance and kind of the conflict at the end was super expected, and I knew it was coming, but it was still like yucky. I don't know. So I gave it 3 stars. I'm just giving stars based off of how they made me feel. Nothing really concrete unless there were some icks, and I would have just definitely left it in the review section, which I did not, so I don't think it left really too big of an ick. Next up, I read The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I finally picked it up because I was craving Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. So I was like, I need a small town, like librarian, super like closed off girl. So I picked this one up and I gave it 5 stars. It's literally what I needed at the time. She was a librarian, but she did have a friend, and it was a plant. He was, I don't know what you would call it, but he was talking and he was interacting and he was like able to do things. So yeah, and the romance was not really romancing, but I was there for the world. I was there for the world. I was there for the main female character and how she was navigating her new adult life, because she was previously living in the libraries, and as a librarian they kind of just provide everything for you, like housing and food and stuff like that. But now she's living in this island where she has to do everything herself, like earn her own money, make her own food, etc., etc. So it was fun coming along, watching her figure all of this out. But yeah, loved it, gave it 5 stars. Next up, I read The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. I gave it 3 stars. I don't have the physical copy of this book because I don't have the physical copy of the first one. I didn't think I would actually like this series, so I never actually bought it, because initially I thought it was going to be like a college sports romance, but it's definitely adult, like professional hockey romance. And this one, the second book, is enemies to lovers, fake dating. The guy was definitely pining for the girl, and he has loved her, he has liked her a lot longer than she has. It's definitely kind of like that, but I prefer the first one over the second one. I think the second one is long. It was way too long than it needed to be. I feel like their relationship, there needed to be a lot more conflict resolution between the female's family, and I feel like there was just a lot of issues that were brought up and they were just glazed over towards the end, because the author just made the romance way too long. If that makes any sense. I just felt like it was too long, so I gave it 3 stars. Next up, I read Charming Your Dad by Sarah Blue. I binged this in one day, like literally a few hours, and I gave it 4 stars. I'm trying to remember stuff about this book, but I really do not remember anything. Oh, yeah. This was honestly really good. Yeah, it was really good. I would not continue on with the series, but I liked the couple's dynamic. He was a devil, she is a witch, and she didn't know part of her identity, and the revelation towards the end made me feel like, yeah, I kind of knew that, so I docked it down like 1 star. I kind of predicted what she was in the very beginning, but yeah, I really liked it. I liked the adventure that they went on. I liked the world, and I liked the guy. Yeah, it was so cute. Loved it. Next up, I read Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. It took me a while to get through this book. It's not as fillery as the previous book, but still it felt like nothing was happening until everything was happening at the same time. So like maybe the first, how many pages are these? It's 500 pages. So maybe the first like 200-300 pages, nothing was happening. And then the last 200 pages, it felt like she was dropping eggshell upon eggshell upon eggshell, and then next thing you know, the egg has hatched. And it was a full-blown explosion in 1 chapter. So that's what it felt like. I gave it 3 stars because of all the revelations and the contribution of this book to the overall plot. But I would not say that it was worth reading 500 pages just to get that. I definitely would have read some Reddit or like some synopsis review, whatever, like, you know those websites that basically give you like a paragraph or like a sentence per chapter of like what happened? I would read one of those and you would get the experience yourself. Gave it 3 stars still because of what happened. Next up, I read Hidden Pictures. It was so good. It was so freaking good. I did not expect it. I did not expect that plot. I did not expect anything that had happened here. I thought it was going in one direction and then it switched up on me. I knew there was something wrong with the family, but I was not expecting that. So I gave it 5 stars. It was really good. When I was buying this, the bookseller at Barnes & Noble was actually telling me about another book. I'm gonna put a picture up right here, and she said that she's heard that they're similar. Like if you like this book, you would like this book, and she was recommending that to me. So I might have to go back and pick that up and see if it gave the same feeling as Hidden Pictures. But I really enjoyed this. Gave it 5 stars. Chef's kiss. Next up, I'm telling you, I read so many good freaking books this year so far, and now it's starting to go downhill. I feel like I've read so many good books in the first quarter of the year that I'm just reading like mid-average books now, and it's giving me a book slump. So, yeah. I would not recommend reading this many good books in this short amount of time. But you live and you learn. I am going to talk about Just for the Summer next by Abby Jimenez. I gave it 5 stars. It was really good. Canceling out their dating, what is it called? Dating curse. I don't remember much that happened because I binged it. I do not recommend binging books. Like, do not ever do that because you just forget about what happened. You're so immersed in the world that you forget about the real world, and then now you go back to the real world and you don't remember a single thing that happened in the book. But I give it 5 stars. I'm sorry if the angle's a little bit different. I had to change out my battery. It was dying. So back to what I was saying. I read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I gave it 5 stars. I don't remember much that has happened. I don't recommend you binging books because you don't remember anything. What else did I want to say? Oh, yeah. Things have happened to both the characters and I felt so bad for them, but it was so realistic. It was like bad shit just happens to good people and you have no control over it, even though it affects their lives. It was kind of pissing me off that the fact that the mom was supposed to be taking care of you and your family, they're supposed to be setting you up for your future, but then some of those decisions are misguided and they end up causing a lot of issues in the end. And I felt really, really bad for the 2 characters, but I loved how they made the most of their situation. So, love that, gave it 5 stars. Honestly, love Abby Jimenez. I'm 100% an Abby Jimenez stan. I have been for such a long time. Ever since she published either The Friend Zone or Life's Too Short, whenever that's published. 2019. Yes, so ever since 2019, I have been an Abby Jimenez stan. And I'm so excited for her newest release. It just came out yesterday, April 1st, but I ordered it from Blackwell's because now that she's bigger, They have been publishing her, they will be publishing her as a hardback first, and I hate that because I just have all paperbacks. So I ordered the paperback version from the UK and it should be arriving soon, but for now I don't have it. But I'm excited to read it soon. Next up, I read The Deep End. Like I said, I read so many good books and now I'm in a book slump. So Deep End by Ali Hazelwood is something different. It's a college romance, but it's talking about like BDSM, and she does such a great job about introducing you into like these niche groups. So initially it was Check and Mate. It was about like chess players and their little world. What was the other one? It was like scientists and their world. And then now it's like BDSM, and she's just introducing little niches at a time, and she does such a good job about it. Oh, and the Omegaverse. Bride by Ali Hazelwood. She introduced us into the Omegaverse, and that was so good. She's really good at introducing these worlds in the most basic form without it being so jarring. So she did Deep End, which is BDSM, and it was so good. One of the characters were just annoying and irritating, and it made me think, like, do we really need to know anything about this character? But she is needed for the plot. But it is really good. I really enjoyed it. It's Ali Hazelwood. She's an auto-buy author. Again, I'm a big stan. Next up, I read this is not Heavenly Bodies. I picked up When the Moon Hatched. I'll be right back. See? I picked up Heavenly Bodies, okay? They just look so similar. I don't know why I picked up When the Moon Hatched, but I read Heavenly Bodies, and sorry, you see that glare, but I have the indie version. So I bought it when it was first being talked about, like, when was this published? 2021. Yeah, I literally bought it 2021, and then I never read it until this year. So it's been sitting on my shelf, and people have been talking about it because it was re-released. It was picked up by a publisher, so I heard there were some changes to the plot and the overall storyline, but I read this version. This is what I have, and I'm not gonna buy the newest one. Sorry, but yeah. Gave this one 4 stars, I believe. Let me look it up. Yeah, gave it 4 stars. So much has happened in this one. It was a little confusing in the end. I was so shocked. My jaw was on the floor. And yeah, I didn't expect how important these characters were supposed to be in this world until that ending. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Gave it 4 stars. Next up, I read Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. This is Crimson Moth #2. This is the end of the duology, and I gave it 5 stars. Yes, it's super tropey. Yes, it was super smutty. It was mostly romance than it is fantasy, but it was really good. It hit the spot. We got what we wanted from, I forgot her name already, I forgot their names, but it gave us what we wanted between the 2 characters. So do that with you will. Do that as you will. I think that's how the saying goes. Anyway, gave it 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. I promise we're almost over. We're like the end of February. I finally finished Gold and Goldfinch, which is the ending of the Plated Prisoner series. So this is Gold is #5, Goldfinch is #6. Basically, we're in a whole different world because of what happened in #4. I can't really say anything because it'll be very spoilery, but I didn't realize how important she was going to be in these 2 books. She made such a big impact, and it kind of left off in a cliffhanger, like Goldfinch. I feel like it didn't really wrap up the way I wanted it to. Maybe she did it on purpose because she wants to create like a spin-off series with a different character. But yeah, I still gave the last one 5 stars. I gave this one 4 stars. I don't remember what happened between each one because I just remember them as one big book. So, do that as you will. I wish she gave us more closure. Okay, almost freaking done. Next up, I read Wild Eyes by L.T. Silver. This is the second book to Rose Hill series. This is about like single parents, single dads. And this one is following West and Skylar. I usually do not like famous characters like pop stars or like Hollywood stars. I don't really like that in a book. Like for example, When in Rome, I hated that girl. But this one, she was super down to earth. She was so cute. It was, yeah, it was really, 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 really cute. So I gave this one 4 stars. It was cute. I mostly loved Wes and how he integrated Skylar into his family and how that played out. So he did it Elsie did it tastefully. Next up, I read Wild Side, which is Rose Hill number 3, and I gave that 5 stars. I know it's not what everybody expected. It's so short. We needed more. We honestly needed more, but I still enjoyed it. The book felt so, God, I need to get my words together. So Wild Side felt so much more fictional than Wild Eyes and Wild Love. So the first 2 books in the Rose Hill series. Number 3 felt so much more fictional, but it was short and sweet and it was really good. It was initially it was kind of daring or jaunting or like scary for me to go into because there was so much grief. All the characters were going through so much, but it ended up being such a happy, loving story, and the main male character is just not very good with words because of what he's been through, and I'm so happy that I forgot her name already. I keep forgetting Tabby brought that out of him. And it was just super sweet. I loved it so much. So I gave that one 5 stars. Next up, I read The Dead Guy Next Door. I gave this 4 stars. At first, I was really confused because there were so many characters, like all of her neighbors were in it. But once we established the plot, I was kind of like, okay, let's keep going. And then towards the end, it was just kind of bonkers. So I gave it 4 stars. What else did I read? Next up, I read First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, and I gave it 4 stars. It was really, really cute. I think this author is just starting to write about males, like realistic males who just do not like talking about their feelings. They're terrible at expressing themselves and communication. Like you see all of these books that are like down for the females and they have other friends to talk to and bounce ideas off of, and they're able to finally express their feelings in one way or another. They're really good at communication. But First Time Caller, I feel like B.K. Borison, like all of her males, they are not at that point yet. Like they need to be with the right person in order to feel comfortable to communicate. They have some sort of past that causes them to act this way, and the female character kind of just undoes that. I am not a big fan of like a fixer-upper, so I don't love her that much, but I would still read her books. So I gave it 4 stars because the main female character is just so ready. She knows what she wants. She is like perfect to be in the dating world, while the main male character, even though it seems like he is part of the dating world, he's just not really in it. I don't know how else to explain it. He's just got some issues to work towards, and I didn't like how we didn't know much about this main male character. It was mostly about the girl. We knew so much about the girl, but not much about the guy, even though he did have a lot of issues. So I gave it 4 stars. But I love how their romance came about. That was so good. It's unique. And then I read The Tyrant Alpha's Rejected Mate. The Tyrant Alpha's Rejected Mate by Kate C. Wells. I gave that 5 stars. I wanted to go back into the wolf world. Honestly, I heard about this book through Heather McLeary. She was just talking about it, and then I got into it, and oh my god, it's very different, but I enjoyed it. I think it was definitely the guy in this book and how he was just very misguided, but towards the end you realize there are a lot of people who contributed to how their world came to be, and it's not really either the character's fault. It's kind of the situation that they were thrusted into. And I mean, he was so patient. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. Gave it 5 stars. So those are all the books that I read so far this year. I read 24 books in 2025 so far. It was really good. It was such a good quarter, and I hope I continue to find good books the rest of the year, because there's so many out there. There's so many books that I could read and that are potentially going to be like 5 stars and above, or at least 4 stars and above. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.